the chat or anything. I'm just reading off the agenda. But we can get started. So if you do have it up, we do have an icebreaker. Feel free to drop your answers in the chat, or we can talk about them a little bit later. The icebreaker is if you could compare your mental, physical, and spiritual energy levels to a battery percentage, what would your current level be? Um, Personally, I'd probably say like I'm at 47% right there. Lot of stuff going on. But thank you all so much for being here. My name is Day. I help organize with our Detroit chapter. I'm just grateful to be here with you all. We love when new people come. This meeting basically is just to cover like some of our resources, answer like questions that you may have, just get you familiarized with how to get started here. So the first two things that you may want to bookmark are these GSUS link trees. We have our main link tree, which you can find like on most of our like main accounts, social media accounts, and then we have our resources link, which holds like a lot of helpful tools for you to utilize and build off from, just to get started and figure out how to do some stuff if you're not familiar, or if this is like your first time like trying to organize or do some type of activism. So just getting started, we're gonna hop into the resources, and now pass the mic to Dalian for building a community. We have our code of conduct. The code of conduct was something that was created here in the Discord by a couple of members. Like most of these resources have been co-created by members in the Discord and without the Discord. So yeah, and they will continue to develop as we move forward. We don't want to stay static. We always want to see how we can improve and match the current conditions that we're currently in. So we have our code of conduct, and it's for the Discord, but we do hope that you read through it and you can take some of its practices in your everyday lives. Basically, it just sums up the golden rule. We all know just treat others how you like to be treated. We understand that this Discord itself holds a lot of fragmented modes of thoughts. We're all coming from different walks of life. Some of us may be at our breaking point, and things of that nature. So just being patient with one another. Sometimes just disengaging. You can always add a moderator, if you're uncomfortable having a conversation, or block the individual. That's, always good as well. It's a lot of people in here, and, we don't have to organize, specifically with, a specific individual. So yeah, just keep those in mind. We want to practice some discipline here and stay focused. Also, work together to keep the this online community safe as possible, and keeping in mind that this is a public space as well, and we just don't want to be putting any and everything, on the Discord. Um, yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. So moving forward, we have our welcome packet. The welcome packet is like an interactive document that you can share with your friends. You can share with groups who may be interested in learning more about the General Strike US. It goes over our strategies, goals, our values as well. And they answer some of your questions. It goes over the strike card, why we have chapters, local chapters, and why we are, trying to establish a coalition here. So it's something that you can share and provide to others, when you're trying to pitch the general strike itself. Next, we have our resource and skills form. Basically, it does what it says. This is just to help us organize those resources and skills, and they can come in handy. We're not outnumbered, we're unorganized. Finding out where we can go to for certain things, in times of need, really helps us, especially as we're trying to, wing ourselves from, this capitalist system and things of that nature. So we have some additional resources that goes even more in detail about some of the questions, some of the answers that you may find on the welcome packet, like why is strike card, our structure, how we view our relationship with unions and things of that nature. You'll be able to find a list of active General Strike US chapters. And most of these things are updated periodically. So, just go through them at your own convenience. But from time to time, definitely check to see, if any changes have been made or anything new has been added. You'll also see this is a new tool. This was done by our outreach team, which is pretty awesome. It's a outreach tool that utilizes the platform Notions. There's an outreach guide, tracking. So if you're reaching out to groups, definitely we're trying to say as organized as possible. Just read over that, and it will give you some insight on tips, whether you're emailing individuals or doing a phone call, if you get pushback, certain situations and scenarios, just all types of things. And it's also templates there as well, for reaching out to different sectors of the struggle. All right, sweet. You'll also find some PDFs for GSUS flyers, designs, and pamphlets. There's a lot there. Just to add, if you are, artsy, if you do any like graphic designs, we love, people to contribute these things, flyers, help with designs. There's a whole project for that. So yeah, definitely reach out. And if you're looking for that specific channel, hopefully someone can drop that's like a collaborative design project, and then like GSUS media channel where you'll find most of that content here too as well in the Discord. We do have like some presentation slides that goes into more detail about our values, such as decentralization, diversity, dissent. These things are very important to know when you are out, talking about GSUS. We all somewhat want to be on the same page, even though, we'll all have our own unique way of relaying this information. You'll also find how tos, which is very helpful. Like I said earlier, some of us are, just getting, our hands dirty. We're just getting started in our activism. So we want to help you understand, what is mutual aid, what is community organizing, what does that look like, or how to establish programs or services to help you empower your community, such as community trash pickups, community defense, political education, food pantry, so on and so on. I was looking at something earlier that was talking about the ripple effect, small actions, and we're all doing, they may seem small, but they are all contributing to the bigger movement overall. And, just a reminder, we need 3.5% of the population engaged in sustained participation. So it will look like many things for all of us, due to our capacity, our availability, our abilities, and things of that nature. But in some form or fashion, we can all play a role, in helping organize our resistance. You also see GSUS phase one and phase two. I know a lot of people ask, what is the process? What might it look like, once we reach 6 million, or we're sitting down trying to finalize these strike demands? You can check out phase two. Currently, we are still in phase one. So if you read over that, you'll, kind of have an idea of, things that we should be focusing on. You'll also find like a shitload of other resources. I believe like Copability has like resources geared towards like, mental health and safety and things of that nature. So you may want to check that out. But at your own time, I know it's a lot. You want to break it down day by day. But if you are serious, we do have to put in work, to get the infrastructure for us to strike back. It is crucial that we take the time, to read through these materials to see how we can further develop them, possibly synthesize them with what's going on in our local communities, and, create more tools, more ways to get the information out, more ways to make it accessible and things of that nature. I'll shut up and pass it over to Dalian.
No worries. Thanks, Dave, for the awesome introduction of the resources we have going on. Yeah, and thanks for also helping caretake a lot of this for us. Yeah, Day helps compile and collect a lot of these things, and yeah, really appreciate your efforts in sharing all these things with us. Yeah, like I said before, I'm Dalian. I messaged in the chat. I help organize out in the Oregon area and help out with these welcome meetings. But yeah, we're glad to have you all here. As you can imagine, we are all very interested in getting to the point where we have the critical mass needed to have a successful general strike and have it actually be strong enough that we can make the demand needed to get rid of exploitation within our economy and within our political system and within our society. But while we're getting there, we've obviously got a lot of work to do. We've got to get ready for the strike. We've got to tell more people. And some of the best ways to do that is going to be with our words, is one easy way to do it. You know, we can tell people in person, we can tell people online through social media, stuff like that. But a lot of these resources that Day's been sharing are really meant to help us build community so that we can help show people through our actions better ways of working and treating each other and taking care of, you know, the old or the sick or the people who don't have enough food because they're having to work too much or have medical debt or are disabled or, you know, are just struggling, you know, in a given week, anything like that. So just kind of getting back to actually taking care of ourselves and looking to the people around us in our community for who we can help trust, who we can help support, so that just in case there's a day where I need to trust someone else or I need some support, I've got other people who will have my back and I'll have theirs, and we can be stronger together rather than continually getting divided by class or race or religion or sexual orientation, any of these things that the oligarchs really want to try and divide us on. So yeah, building community is really one of our other primary goals while we're trying to get ready for this strike and collect as many people who are aligned with us and understand this goal. So we are going to make sure that we finalize our strike demands at a point in the future. There are some members working on collecting up a team to start honing in strike demands now, but that'll also happen a lot more, I believe, during phase 2 of our movement as well. You are welcome to share any notes. If you have them after this meeting, you can share those in the weekly meeting notes. We usually also post a set of our own there, make sure the agenda and things get there. Yeah. There are other meetings that happen around the Discord as well. A lot of these can be found in the events calendar. If you need help finding the events calendar, maybe someone who knows how to do it can send a little screenshot of how to get to that button within the Discord. Yeah. So, what can you all do to help out? There's a lot of different options. Sometimes it can be a little overwhelming if you're new. If you're a little bit more experienced and you have an idea of what you want to do or where your interests lie, you're welcome to jump in and help out. We also love it if you're able to help some of the newer people find little projects they can do or ways they can volunteer to help out. But you can also ask the people in your state channels. They can be a really great resource. And talking to the people who are closest to you is also really great for starting to build towards in-person organizing. It doesn't all have to be online, and sometimes it's a lot nicer to do it in person as well. You can also ask the moderators too. We're also a resource for you guys if anyone ever needs. Yeah, but lots of volunteer projects that people can do. I'll run through a couple of options really quickly. We have stickers that a member compiled into a Proton drive, and yeah, you could print these sorts of things out, post them around. There's the flyers and the zines that Day was mentioning, just small little magazines that you can fold and distribute around. I actually just printed some today and started folding a few because I had never done it before. And yeah, they look pretty cool. There's some little free libraries in my neighborhood that I'm going to try and stock up with some new things pretty soon here. We've also got a project that we're working on where we are building more localized Discord channels, since this one is pretty big. We know we've got about 16,000 people in this national server, and there's a lot of really cool, important things that we can do across the country and that we want to keep talking about. But we also want to try and help give local areas a better chance of being able to organize in the way that they need, And so we're going to start kind of at state levels as much as we can. There might be a few states that have smaller numbers of strike card signees, and we'll group them together at first. But our goal is to try and help eventually let every state have their own server, and really to hand those servers off to the people in the states so they can make it the way they want it, adapt it however it makes sense for them. And have a place where they can have more localized discussions instead of everything kind of sometimes some things can get lost within the state channels within here, since there's only one big state channel for Oregon and stuff like that. So multiple states have already started building their discords, and we're working as a team to eventually start helping the rest of the states with this project as well. And this is something called Operation Starfish, which is mentioned a little bit lower in the agenda. But if you have any questions about that, feel free to ask us as well, and we could tell you more if you're interested in helping volunteer. We can use volunteers for helping moderate those discords, or if you just have suggestions for, like, it would be cool to have a channel for this in your state Discord once you have that. There's some other projects that are going on around here. Multiple states are having meetings on a regular basis now. We're getting to the point where we're starting to get enough volunteers in some states that we can do that. Some states are still looking for people to step up and volunteer to help organize, run meetings, things like that. We're happy to try and help make that happen. If you are interested in trying to help out, please let us know and we can get you some resources. We do have some workshops actually coming up as well for teaching new volunteers who want to help become chapter facilitators. There is a meeting coming up on April 7th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time here on the Discord. That looks like it'll be really, really cool. And we've already got a lot of really solid chapter facilitators from some other states who have started doing some things, and they're trying to help mentor and share information with anyone new who wants to learn how to do this stuff. So you all are welcome to attend if you'd like. We've got a GSUS time banking project, which is also being put on by Jaden. And he's, getting input and a lot of good feedback from other members. It was really great to hear some of the ideas getting put together and working on, like, some of the last details that are trying to get finalized, or trying to iron out some of the details that are a little trickier to figure out. But it sounds like a really cool project that could be awesome to put in place. If you know what time banking is. If you don't, I believe there's a pretty good explanation on the link tree. We've also got other members organizing political education meetups. Those are also in the events calendar. If anyone wants to volunteer to hold a workshop, something that helps, like, teach people how to take part in a certain type of action or activism, could even be like how to have a little bit better cybersecurity. Could even be, something about increasing food sustainability, how to grow your own things, and from seeds, stuff like that. It is starting to get to spring and things like that. Anything that you have that you might want to share to the community. If you want to create a workshop, we'd be happy to support you, and then announce it to the Discord so other people can come join and get some knowledge if you're willing to share. I think Day mentioned this as well, but we also have a group that is working on collaboratively coming up with zines. So if anyone wants to contribute there, that's also an option. And then also just helping welcome new members. Hopefully you all have heard that there's a welcome packet now, and that there's this link tree that has all these really great how-tos. Not all of the new people know that these things are out there. Sometimes they're just getting inside the door and they don't really know where to go find flyers to print or things like that. So hopefully you all can, this could also be a thing you can do to help the community, is point out these resources to people, let them know where it is, and that can help them, get a little more comfortable and get to what they need. Or you can ask questions, help them ask questions if you're not sure where something lives. All right, moving along into the agenda, there are some useful channels in the Discord just in case you are starting to find your way around. These are listed out in this agenda, but I'll say them out loud real quickly. There's a directory channel, a getting started channel, a projects channel that has a lot of kind of conversations within it for various projects going on. Like there's a Newsies project, there's a project where members are working on coming up with guidance for building strike funds. Lots of different things going on out there. There's all of your state channels. This is the best place to kind of find news that's going to be directly related to your state or to share that with the other people around you. And then we've also got our teams, our strategy team, our tech team, our outreach team, social media team, education team. Anyone is welcome to join and start contributing at any point. Yeah, we'd love to hear your thoughts, have you on board. Okay, I covered Operation Starfish a little bit earlier. Just want to give a shout out that Massachusetts has already gone through this and had a successful kind of invitation sent out to other strike card members who live in their zip code that aren't already on the Discord server. We kind of sent out a mass invitation for them to come join so they could be involved with organizing and get engaged with their meetings that they're starting to do. This is kind of what we're going to try and replicate for other states as well. And we'll just keep learning as we go through this process, see if we can make it smoother, get more success with getting more people to come join us. Yeah, and we're always working towards moving towards in-person actions and meetings as well whenever that is organically possible within these areas. As I mentioned, just one more shout out for the chapter facilitator meeting that's being put on by Indication Left and some other members. Again, that'll be on April 7th here in the Discord at 8 p.m. All right. I think that's everything from the community section. Day, do you mind if I pass it back to you?
Yeah, that's fine. We pretty much summed up everything. So I feel like we should do like you know, the next 30 minutes or so, just because it's a couple questions already in the chat. Um, we can just, unless anyone else like has anything to add, if we miss anything. See someone typing. Oh,
I can go ahead and answer the question from Jace that was a little bit up above in the chat. Just you were saying, are there any plans for promoting general strike at the hands-off rallies? I believe these are the ones happening on the 5th of April. Yes, there are lots of members who are pretty much at any given protest, take down Tesla, hands off. Um, uh, there's a Palestine one. I'm forgetting the name of the Palestine one on that was that today. That was today, actually. Sorry, yeah. But yeah, there's members at pretty much any given protest who are handing stuff out, telling people about it. You are welcome to join them. And yeah, it's kind of getting organized at local areas, obviously, because that's what needs to happen. Do we have any thoughts on how soon it'll be possible to get to the 11 million? This is obviously something where we need to have a critical mass of people in order for the strike demands to be successful. So, yeah, we are here lending support to other actions and other organizations while they do more shorter term projects. But we are keeping the eye on the ball for making sure we get to the point we have enough people that when we strike, it's going to be successful. Because a strike is a really serious thing. You know, some of the people will lose their jobs when they go on strike. So this is not something we can just call carelessly. We do want to make sure that we have infrastructure in place to help take care of people who might be sacrificing a lot when they agree to withhold their labor. We want to make sure it's enough people that the oligarchs are actually going to listen. So unfortunately, yeah, we're not close to this 11 million number, but anything we all do to help spread the word or spread the word through our actions is going to accelerate this and make it faster. The more people we tell, the more people they can tell, it'll grow exponentially. Just got to keep the ball rolling.
right on. And I think JD asks, has anyone built a map of the discords associated with GSUS? I'm not sure. I don't think so, but will anyone else know?
I don't think we have a map per se because, yeah, I haven't found a really great platform yet where it lets us like create a map with links and things. But I honestly just haven't had time to look at something like that. If you find one where there's like a free tool where we could like, yeah, put a bunch of Discord links like within the state outlines around the country or whatever, we'd love to have that and see if it works. But we do have a running list, yes, of the discords that are getting set up and kind of which ones we still are working towards doing. So
Right on. Yeah, it's always a lot to do outreach. While you all are going to these protests and these rallies, make sure you are taking some type of GSUS flyers with you if you are here to help spread awareness about it. But we, also will like people to help establish, the infrastructure needed. I drop a couple graphics to help us kind of stay focused. Most of our chapters when they are thinking of projects programs to do to be around like helping to meet the needs of the community members. So how can we help with food sovereignty, or how can we help raise the consciousness of our community members so they know why we are striking, so they understand why our material conditions are so um basically tragic, horrible. I know some people are living situations are horrible. All types of shit. We can't afford basic, health, procedures and things of that nature. And also, like when we're looking at some of these broad list of demands, it kind of helps us understand, what groups we should be aligning ourselves with. Understand, we can't do this alone. So building this coalition on a local and a national level will help strengthen us, will help us strengthen us when we're trying to sustain ourselves um, during this strike. And if we are establishing these systems before we reach 11 million, a lot of times some people may be able to if they are ready to strike and help out more, build the system so even more people can withdraw from this toxic system. So all of these things, have to go into play. There's always something to do. You always have help. You can reach out, just if you see a project that hasn't been worked on and it's something that you want to do, just get it back started. Also, interacting with us on social media, just sharing that out as well. There are multiple ways, to help grow the numbers, and also while we're growing the numbers to help empower our communities. Both have to be, you know, once again, working together. So if we can have like 11 million people, but if we can't sustain ourselves, then we're back at we're we're back at square one. We haven't really made any progress. So we're pretty much at the open discussion. So we can do stack if you all want to, come off mic, ask your questions. I do see people chatting, but if you want to come off mic, just ask questions and talk to us, or if you want to address the icebreaker. I know it's been a lot going on. People, may be burnt out, exhausted from just lifing. You know, talk to us.
Uh, few updates. One is that we had our strike fund meeting today, which went really well again, thanks to Artie and everyone. Kyle showed up, some other people, and I think we basically have like a very, very first rough draft of a guide that can start being edited. From there, tomorrow we have a strategy team meeting at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday night, Monday evening. Yeah. So that's also exciting. Check.
Hell yeah. Oh, and this is just a note from the agenda. Just a reminder to all of us, because sometimes it's hard for me to always do it. Um, I know sometimes we don't always have like notes. Like tonight, we're not have it's not a lot of notes to take. But if we are like having our team meetings, if we can just write down what happened and just share it, I know some people, just would just like to be updated. So just make sure we're taking notes, having designated note takers, and we can just drop it in weekly meeting notes, or however we do it on a document, share it in teams, or whatever.
Hi, this is E from Michigan. I had a question. I'm relatively new in this server, which I guess is kind of the point of the meeting, but are you guys aware of the United, or is the frickin' hell, the Union of the Auto Workers organizing for May 1st, 2028 as being kind of their big strike day?
Yeah. So we definitely are. This initiative, someone just asked as well. The general strike rate basically got off the ground and in motion 2022. So it happened a little, before all of this. Basically because the system has been shut. But we definitely are in support. Our unions, our the labor initiative overall. We are a bunch of our chapters are participating, and it's the May Day events going on this year. We're trying to do a lot of tabling during that time. Possibly do like a May Day panel discussion as well. But yeah, it's a great time for us all to come together and try to organize collectively. Um, yeah. Hopefully we can get this interconnected sustainable system up and going before 2028. That's my hopes. If we put in the work, you know can possibly do something, improve our living conditions, in the meantime, pending whatever's going to happen in 2028.
Yeah, I'm a local organizer in Michigan for a couple different things. I'm always been very curious about strikes and how they work, and I'm trying to educate myself a little bit more. So I'm very new in this space, but um, a lot of the projects that I see this organization working on are very interesting to me, and things I'm already trying to work with in my local community. So that's a big part of the reason I'm here. I see people kind of acting and educating, and I'm very curious to show up and learn more.
Right on. Thanks, for being here, Radical. And this is the idea of a general strike. Definitely is nothing new, but it just seems like it was missing a lot of pieces to it. So I feel like that's what we're trying to do. Somebody has to do it. Organize it. It's definitely a good tool to use, but it's a lot that has to go into it. But I feel like what's most important, definitely is taking our time and not just setting a strike date, but making it, it inclusive, making sure we include, all oppressed people, here that's been, going through, the hoops and loops, through the system, and also ensuring that we can meet our basic needs, when the time comes, and even before, and a lot of where we pull from as far as, the practical side of it, like the programs and the services is, the Black Panther Party with their
Yeah.
survival programs pending revolution. And um yeah, it was a threat then, and it's a threat now. So because they
No,
fear our
sorry.
threat. No, I go ahead. I just rambling at this point.
No, so one of the big things my big project I'm currently working on is getting a mutual aid project up and running in my local area, explicitly general mutual aid. I work with several orgs in my area, and there's I don't really know how to explain it, but there's an org that essentially helps people get projects moving, kind of on a smaller scale since I'm still starting out. But the mutual aid and time banking is something I am trying to work more explicitly on. So that's 100% like why I'm like interested in the general strike because that's pretty crucially important to making that work.
Yeah, with the mutual aid aspect, absolutely. It's really revolutionary altogether. I mean, it opens so many doors. A lot of these programs that will be created from this movement, I feel will like thrust us into the next stage that's definitely needed. It's definitely a long call. It's a marathon and not a sprint. So wherever we end up at the end, as long as it's an advancement from where we are now, and the next generation can have a little bit of breathing room, maybe they are in those communities that has been created that is practicing these solutions that we know are there and possible, and they're able to finish the job or take it to the next level. So that's really what it's all about. um right now, the situation that we're in, where our basic needs are basically controlled by psychopaths, that's not a good situation. So just winging ourselves from that, and we are more than capable of growing our own food, educating each other, skill sharing. It's so much. The whole revolution itself is just us elevating the consciousness. So that's why education is definitely important. In mutual aid, in our organizing whatever we're. People definitely have to know why, and also just engage in those who've been typically left out from these spaces. Like the unhoused and the incarcerated and the unemployed, and things of that nature. Like this movement itself, is for all oppressed people, and we definitely stand by that. You can organize with these people, like feed. We have like feed the people events and things of that nature. And during that time, we are feeding the people's stomachs, but we are at the same time trying to feed their minds so they can join the fight, so they can be of service, so they are able to help with this community garden or whatnot, this community patrol. So it's a lot of potential energy there that has been left out. So we definitely want to keep this movement itself, led by the community, by the people, and not have it co-opted, by those who may, want to keep things the same, business as usual, or continue to use the same tactics and strategies. I'm gonna shut up if you all want to talk. Radical, real quick before somebody else. I know you said you are new, but Michigan is having a state meeting April 6th. So I can give you that information, but we'll definitely love to have you and discuss more about the mutual aid project you're working on.
Yeah, I would definitely be interested. I don't know what my schedule is looking like for April 6th. I do, and I say I do like a lot of daily organizing, but I think actually I don't think I have anything on my schedule yet. So yeah, if you can give that to me, if it goes on the schedule now, it'll get priority. So
Hell yeah, I'm glad I said something.
Can I raise my hand, Lavina? Go ahead.
I was just thinking about I have not a Discord for my state yet, and once I finish getting the engagement that I see that I need for people to join, because right now we're kind of small, who do I reach out to start creating that Discord? Because I'm familiar with Discord and have been for a couple of years, but I haven't really been on the creating side and adding a bot, and I don't have really the interest in moderating it while I'm doing other stuff, but I just have those general questions. Thank you.
Dalian, did you want to answer that? Did you want me to?
Yeah, I can help answer. Sorry, I was digging up a link for someone else in the chat.
All right.
We are, yeah, definitely working through. There's a majority of states that do not have Discord servers set up yet, so we're working our way through the list. Yeah, and it might be small right now, the number of people you have engaged, but that's okay. Part of the reason we're also trying to make these servers is so that you can also invite in more people who might not know that they can get engaged this way. So you'll probably get more people who can volunteer for projects or share information about what's going on in your state when we invite more people in. And the other cool thing about this is once every state has their own servers set up, we're going to set up a automatic reply email when people sign the strike card that will help invite them to the Discord server that goes with their local area, so they can kind of get more in touch with the local people. And then kind of it's optional if they want to join the national server. They can be a part of one or both, but we really want to try and help funnel them to where they're going to be able to make the most impact and where they're going to be able to share the majority of their like skills and talents, because you all know your local area is way better than we do. You know, I couldn't even begin to tell you what the needs or geography looks like in some of your states. So yeah, that's why we want to try and build as many resources as we can pass off to y'all. I will, yeah, I'll make a note to get in touch with you when we're getting towards New Mexico. I know that the rough timeline is we're going to try and get all the states done by, I want to say like end of May, early June, somewhere in there. So we'll definitely be in touch soon. And I think you might have even DM'd me about something else earlier this week, so I'll get back to you on that too. I got to go back through my DMs here today. Hopefully that helped. All done.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
So this could have been answered during the presentation and I missed it. But I was wondering if there's an area within the server that has like videos on, how do I explain this? Like videos or tutorials of sorts on how to provide for yourself were something to happen in your state. So like you lose electricity or you need to make quick meals of sorts because you know, you're without food, you can't go shopping. If you're without money, things like that.
I think I can give a couple answers to that. There is a DIY channel, and there's some things in there. You may also be able to just ask the people in these channels if a resource doesn't exist, and they may be able to help find it for you somewhere else on the internet or post it, you know, here in the Discord or whatever. Mutual aid is also an option. We have a channel specifically for members to be able to post mutual aid requests, and you can also help match and give resources if you are in a position to share with others. You can read through that channel and also help support members who are in need. Yeah, I've tried doing this when I have the ability to do so. And then we are also helping each state build a Linktree site that will have mutual aid resources specific to your state that members can go look at. I will copy an example of the Oregon one in here, and then I'll try to get the list of all of the state link trees that actually, I'm just going to grab the place where all of the state link trees that are already made are, so that you all can just see the ones for your states if they're there. If there isn't one for your state yet and you want to help build one, that is also something that you can talk to me about, and I could help you get started with it. There's a lot of instructions in the place that I am going to be posting in just a second. But yeah, I will stop talking for now while I type on the keyboard. But yeah, hopefully those might give you some starting points if that helps. Over.
Awesome, thank you.
Just kind of on that note too, a good thing if you are interested in getting started in gardening, ironically enough, gardening for dummies is actually incredibly useful.
Okay, I think I've got the link posted in the chat for. God, it did the whole thing. I'm gonna get rid of the embed because that's really annoying. But yeah, I just posted the project link that has a running list of all the states who have a link tree made. There's a few of them that might be newer or might need a new volunteer to help take them over, but the overwhelming majority of these are up and running, have resources on there. And there's instructions within this channel too. This is a really cool project if anyone wants to help make one for your state if you don't see one on there, or if you just want to help the person who is running the one for your state. I put the member who's kind of helping facilitate it next to your state, so you could reach out to them or you can reach out to me. We can get you connected, get you the information. There's instructions in this project thread as well for how to make these link trees. They're free. You could even make one if your city's big enough and it makes sense to have one for your city. You can even do one for your city. It doesn't have to be statewide or whatever. Yeah, feel free to reach out to me if you have more questions about it. Over.
Crazy question, but those of us who've already been vetted don't need vetted if we're working on something else. Like, I'm helping with the Springfield, Illinois chapter, but I also kind of got pulled into helping run the social media there because the person who was doing it got busy. I mean, stuff like that happens, but that's fine, right?
Yeah, totally fine. We usually appreciate trying to be able to vet people who are going to run a social media account on behalf of the General Strike U.S. movement, just so that we can kind of talk to them about what it means to, be speaking on behalf of the other members and trying to help do that in a way that aligns with our values. But yeah, anyone's welcome to also post, things about General Strike US on their own personal social accounts. There is an entire channel where we try to create content that can easily be shared. That channel is GSUS Media, I believe. And there's probably some other places where there's other stuff too. But yeah, that's kind of the ins and outs of who we usually prefer to vet. And yeah, anyone can contribute though on social media by reposting things, sharing it, liking it. That also helps a ton too. Yeah, thanks for asking. Over.
It looks like Day already kind of addressed this question, but I like answering this question. So someone in the chat asked, "How do we feel about arming ourselves? I haven't been around to hear about it. Things are getting bad and dangerous. Should be looked into." So as far as arming ourselves, it goes just more than physical. I always say arm the mind and the body so that we can prepare our defenses against, fascist oppression or any sort of reactionary propaganda. But of course, arming ourselves physically is that aspect of self-defense. For those who don't know, the Black Panther Party originally started as, or named themselves as the Black Party for Self-Defense. And that self-defense part is in recognition of our violent oppressive system and our violent state, right? So it's no surprise to anyone that the U.S. government is a very violent institution, and so it will inflict upon that violence, to us or to any sort of organization that is against that, capitalist interest. So we must recognize that the state itself is a violent entity, and of course will inflict that oppression upon anything that will stand against it. Of course, GSUS is looking to stand against that force. So although GSUS and of course most movements are not violent inherently, we must recognize the opposition that we face. So arming ourselves is one of those core organizing things that we can do to prepare for a revolution, right? Because general strike is something revolutionary. So arming ourselves to the mind is definitely a point, right? Education is one of those things that we can arm ourselves with so that we can prepare for this, fascist regime against us. But arming ourselves physically, right? It may not be for everyone, but we must recognize that our state is oppressive. So although we're not violent, we must take upon measures for self-defense. There was a general strike a while ago in the late 1800s that was pretty successful for a time being, but the state militia, the U.S. government, sent in the armed guard to, disrupt and destroy this general strike that happened. And, the state was successful in that because the people who were running that general strike way back when were not armed. So it is important to arm ourselves both in the mind and in the body to ensure that our revolution and everything that we do stands up, to these oppressive conditions and oppressive forces. Should we not arm ourselves, then we are subject to, the whims of our oppressors. Of course, then we will get, demolished and all of those, bad things we don't want to happen. So I love the arming question, so that we can better understand how to arm ourselves. It's not just picking up a gun and, going after the state. That's not arming ourselves. Arming ourselves is to take in the acknowledgement and recognize our oppressive state as not something to be aggressive towards, but to recognize that they can be aggressive towards us. So we have to be prepared, and being prepared is part of that arming ourselves. So I love answering that question. I love when that comes up because it helps us bridge this. We kind of think arming ourselves is a violent tendency. It's a self-defense tendency to arm ourselves. And the Black Panther Party, exemplified this. The Black Panthers were not a violent organization. They had gun education, arming themselves with the mind with revolutionary political theory. So there's a lot of many ways to arm ourselves that isn't violent. It's all about this self-defense, preserving ourselves so that we can live in a world, where we can accept each other's ideas and not be hostile towards each other. Yeah, love the question.
Absolutely right on, comrade. All right, so we do have a few more minutes left. We typically go for an hour. So we'll stay on. You all can ask any more questions that you have. If you want to hit us up later, hit us up in a group, Discord or DM. That's fine. But we'll definitely do this again next Sunday.
Yeah, thanks everyone for being here. Really appreciate you all. If you do need to wrap up and head out, we totally understand. You are welcome to stick around and ask more questions. I'm sure there might be some members willing to help out. But yeah, we appreciate all the questions and the thought and just the time. We know that it can be tough to take time out of your lives to attend meetings, learn about things like this, and try to make a difference. But this is how it happens. Yeah, change isn't going to happen just on its own. We're going to have to make it happen, but we can. And happy to be here doing it all with you. All right. Let's see. We got a question from Avicarious Altruist. Most effective ways or ways to spread awareness of General Strike US. Um, Honestly, I think it kind of depends on which community you're trying to reach. Uh, and also kind of what your skills and abilities are. Um, but a lot of it can be done just by like word of mouth, spreading the word around. But I also am a huge fan of trying to do it with our actions too. I think actions, seeing someone who's out there building community, um, helping give food to those in need, helping care about someone when no one else is. These are people who, when they're talking about changing the way we live and work and making a better system for ourselves, like I'd be more inclined to listen to that person who's been a kind, caring community member than necessarily someone who I've just seen post a bunch of stuff on social media. So that's kind of my take on it. But yeah, there's just so many different communities that might need to be reached or might have different ways of being reached. Yeah, some of it might need to be in person as well. Some of it can be done remotely. Yeah. Um, Meeting people's materials needs. Gotcha. Yeah, I think that's a big one. Also, sometimes just listening to the issues or kind of like the concerns that a community has. For example, a migrant worker community might have a set of concerns right now that we might be able to help them with. Maybe they could use help making sure that there's easy to spread resources for understanding what their rights are. Maybe they also want to have resources for, helping repair cars or things like that. Maybe they also want to have resources just for like, food insecurity, things like that. Or maybe it's something completely different. But yeah, I think talking to a community and hearing what they have to say about what they could use help with or what their biggest concerns are definitely helps a lot. I think a lot about indigenous communities, our First Nations communities will also probably have a very different set of interests and issues that will concern them compared to myself, who lives in like a suburban sort of neighborhood. So I don't necessarily want to assume what I can do on behalf of them. I'd much rather try and ask those members of my community when I'm able to meet them, or if they don't live near me, be able to ask them as well what I can do to support from afar. I hope that helps a little bit.
Yeah, I was just gonna add to that, Delian. Like that's like why this coalition building and our outreach is so important, just to get everyone's input, everyone's voice engaged in this movement, so it can be true representation, you know for all people, especially with our demands.
And for those still hanging around, I just wanted to talk about GSUS's decentralized kind of model of organization, right? Decentralization doesn't mean no organization, right? We decentralize. There is no leader, there's no head. We all can do what we can, however we can, to push this movement along. We don't necessarily need permission from anyone and everyone, but our ideas and projects develop from people who have the initiative. And of course, that growth comes from the contributions of the people. There is no formal process to get something approved. If you want to start something, go ahead. Right? You have access to a network of people who are willing to help. And if you have an idea or a project that you want to start, go ahead, start it. Even if it's like a rough draft, even if you barely have the idea of something you want to do, just spit it out there. Talk to people, because that's where ideas develop the most. When you start talking to people and getting those ideas flourishing and developed, and then when you have a plan developed, then you can go to a broader group inside of GSUS or our network, and you'll actually get support from people who have the means to help you. Like me personally, I'm not a coder. I don't code. I don't have any website design experience or anything, but we do have people in the group in the network that can do that. But maybe they don't have an idea or maybe ways to implement their skills. We're all here to help each other do whatever we need to do to get this movement going. Recently, I joined another organization for personal reasons, and that organization is traditionally like centralized. It is nothing like GSUS. GSUS, I can definitely say, is a special organization because of our decentralized point. Right, most organizations are kind of central. You kind of have like a chain of command. You kind of have this like who to talk to for this specific thing because they are in charge. No one is in charge here. If you want to start something, go ahead. But yeah, I could definitely talk about the time banking program for a little bit. The time banking program project is designed first and foremost to address the needs of the people for those who do not have the resources in their area. And time banking achieves this by alleviating the money cost that goes into this type of fulfilling your needs. So in my area right now, I'm, blessed and privileged to have, kind of an active time banking scene. We could trade skills and resources. Like someone on the time bank now is offering haircuts, right? Usually you would pay like what is it, 30, 40, $50 for a haircut. Someone is giving 45 doing 45 minutes for a haircut, like your time credit. And the way you earn your time credit is to just directly give to the community. And the best part about time banking is you don't have to give it back to the person that helps you. I'm currently helping a handful of people diagnose their cars over a chat. I'm going to meet with some people later this week to diagnose their cars in person, and it's not going to cost them a dime. It's not going to cost them anything for them to get their car looked at because it's a skill that I have and I want to contribute it to the community. So none of these people are paying a dime for my services. All I'm getting is their time, of which they don't have to pay me back directly. I can just go back into the time bank and ask someone else for a service that I may need that the person I'm helping doesn't have a skill for. That's the whole point of a time bank. You don't have to pay it back to the person that gave it to you. As a working community, a time bank is designed to help people get their needs from the people who can provide it to them. So maybe I'm a mechanic, but not a seamstress. I can't fix or mend clothes, right? Well, now I can. I'm learning how to do it. But for the sake of the example, right? I'm a mechanic. I can't fix clothes. What I deem my hour worth is what I deem it. If someone else deems that hour like worth that's their hour. Time banking equalizes everyone's hour. If I want my shirt repaired, right, it's going to take someone an hour or two. I'm going to go fix their car if they need to for an hour or two, or I'll pay it forward, earn it forward to another time banker. So in essence, the time bank, just like from what I first said, is to address the needs of the people without having that money cost incurred. Because money is a barrier of entry. If you want to get your shirt mended, you have to go to a tailor. You have to pay them, how many dollars it costs to get your shirt or clothes mended. Especially with your car repairs. Like as an automotive mechanic for 5 years, 6 years, it's like expensive to have your car even looked at. Not repair, not even like getting a wrench on your car to fix it. Just to have someone tell you what's wrong with your car, it costs people like $100, and that's money that could be going towards rent, bills, food, other needs that you would otherwise need to spend, but then you wouldn't have to spend it at that. Oh yeah, $500 to get your part. Yeah, I never charge, like, for the people that I talk to. I never charge for a diagnosis. To me, it's a little silly to gatekeep information just because I want something. But time banking, it's not just automotive repair, haircuts. You can help people in people's gardens clean up. Maybe some people have fruit trees in their backyard that they're not using. You can ask the time bankers if if you can come by and pick off fruit from their tree. Say they don't have to do it themselves. Like, you have resources, you can provide it to the time bank, and you can help your community that way too. So you don't have to put in direct effort to even help your community. You just have to have the available resources. As far as zines, let's see. I can turn on my camera. Yes. Hello, me and my long hair. I made a zine for our local time bank, so I can find it. I have a whole bunch of. I make one of every zine that we have in the store, right here. So here's the base time bank. This is the Bay Area Community Exchange time bank that I made for us local. I print these and drop, and it's just information about it, questions and stuff, just little questions, answers, and on the back there's like different skills and resources that we have in the bank. So there's goods. Some people can help you with your computers, community care, like senior care, health. Some people have health profession skills that we can reach out to, miscellaneous and stuff, and some QR codes. I already dropped these around. Let's see here. A little bit more questions. Oh, zines and stuff. That's so easy. Oh, for me, like, I've been doing this for a while. But yeah, we make all of these beautiful zines, all of these great little zines with little light focus. All of these are great resources. People have made, like these two specifically come from Comrade Oliver Twist, right, in the zine chat. He made these, or they made these 8-page zines look really beautiful. So let's see. I see that question. Let's hit it. Disable. Oh, no, lovely question. And that's the essence of time banking as well. Addresses people's needs. Doesn't matter who you are if you're disabled, especially if you're disabled, of which the system does not provide you your needs. Every time I do the time banking slideshow, I always address that the system neglects to provide what we need. Time banking is to alleviate that stress. So especially for people who are disabled, a time bank can alleviate those costs of which, you know, they would otherwise rely on corporate entities for. Especially for travel. If you don't have any means of travel, a time banking is a good way to get people across. Like in the Bay Area, especially a car dependent city, people offer transportation services in need. So whether if you don't want to, you don't have money for gas, but you need to get somewhere, you can hit up someone on the time bank, set up a time and schedule to like, can you pick me up, drop me off here, and then it costs you that, you know, hour, half an hour, one way or the other, and then. But in the time bank as well, you get more intimate with your transactions. You get more intimate with the people you're working with. So you actually address the needs directly instead of when you go to a store or when you go to like a restaurant or something. You have money. You have this kind of social contract where it states, for this amount of money, I will give you this. Just give me your money. And a time bank, when you conduct these conversations between time bankers, you are getting to the root of the need or the want, because you're talking to the person that is actually getting it. Unable to provide obvious community. Time banking is, at least for the way the base does it, you can go into what's called time debt. It's just a negative balance on your hours because the time banking and base is designed to address people's needs first and foremost. Even when you first sign up and you don't have any hours banked, you can still get the needs that you want. So like you need an emergency ride and you just signed up for the time bank, you can go into, you know, negative debt. I don't want to say like debt, but then you can get your needs addressed. And then later, there are many ways to provide hours to a time bank. Like don't think traditional formal economy. Think of informal economy favor type of services. Hair braiding is one of those things that you can do if you know how to do that. Even helping someone's garden. That's definitely something too. Donating hours is something that I do as well, because me personally, I don't need a lot. I bank a lot of hours because I do a lot of services, but that's where the balance comes in. Me and my good heart, hi, hello, love to donate hours to people who don't have any for themselves, to, you know, not to be in the negative, and to also, you know, have something so that they can fall back on. Me personally, and it works for most people that I know too, outproduce what they need to have to survive. Right? Here's some economic theory. I like bringing this up. It's like an entryway into economic theory. A laborer inside of a company will labor. Let's say the work day is 8 hours. Right? Thanks unions for the 8-hour workday. But in that 8-hour workday, the laborer who, you know, is on the floor producing for the capitalist earns their living in 4 hours. All of the profits and all of their paycheck and all of these things that, you know, require them to live, house, food, rent, safety, comfort, psychological health, is all done within 4 hours worth of labor. Half that, right? And the number isn't like, you know, strict and hard. It could be 6 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, depending on what is being produced. But at the core principle, every single individual laborer can outproduce what they need in the given 8-hour workday. And time banking works in the same way. I don't need a lot of things, right? So I'll get the things what I need, but I'll end up with excess hours. We call that surplus value. Surplus value is created when the laborer overproduces for what they already have, like, you know, made for themselves. So let's say the farmer way back when only needed to labor for 4 hours to clean up the farm, harvest some things, you know, do some cleaning up around the area, and then that's it. They didn't have to work the rest of the day. The 8-hour workday under capitalist system is designed to extract that surplus value, that extra 4 hours out of that workday, so that they can materialize a profit. So in a time bank, right, when I do services or when anyone does any service or goods, it's a 1-to-1 trade. So the time banking is a dual power structure. It's a flexible way for people to give and receive resources without having this extraction of surplus value that you normally see at a company or private enterprise. So yeah, there are many ways to give in the time bank. Anything. So it's literally anything you can do because it is a need-based system. So if I need something, I will pay someone time to get that done for me or get it done with me. Like it's not like a formal economy where it's like, can I profit off of this skill? Is this skill marketable? Is my ability to do XYZ something that can make me money? There's no money in a time bank. If you can do something and if someone needs that, that's a potential transaction. That's a potential time exchange, as we call it. So you can make exchanges out of anything. Time bank is very flexible. And I don't want to cut you off if anybody has any questions, but there is in the time banking project that we're proposing, that we're building, there is a shipping service attached to it, like that. It's like one. It's like a can't have one without the other. So in this online, like I've never seen this as well. It's kind of making me scared, trying to stepping into a territory that's no one's never been done before. It's kind of freaking me out. But no one has ever done, to what I've seen, time banking and a shipping service. Because the only way time banking works is if you actually get people together. When you have people on a time banking platform in Nevada and in Massachusetts, they don't get much done. You can do online services like, if the one person can code a website, do web design or something, something online. But with the shipping service, and there's some services that I outlined to make it attractive, to get the idea of this shipping plus time banking, laptop repair, phone repair. You can also do crochet knit goods, right, from 2 different parts of the country. So the time banking thing that we're proposing is hand in hand with the shipping service that goes with it. So in the time bank that we're building and projecting, it will have this implemented shipping thing. So if you wanted to provide service or goods, someone on the other side of the country, you can, and you can exchange that time, of which that shipping cost the bank will incur. Every single transaction in the time bank is designed to be entirely free to the individual, like monetary. You still have your trading of hours and credits, but as far as like monetary costs, all of those costs will be incurred by the bank of which raises funds through the sale of I make the zines, and some people buy the zines, and that's where that money's coming from. So don't be afraid if you ever do the time bank. If you think there's a cost incurred, there is no cost incurred to the time bankers. That's by design. That's on purpose, to give the people in the time bank the flexibility and option to do all of this, stuff. There is this process I want to have before people join the time bank, and it is that slideshow. It is an educational screening process. So this is to first filter off bad actors or individuals that are not too comfortable working in a time bank or may not be familiar with it. So there is this. I'm building an educational screening process. So will people fight over time? Like I said, when you do transactions, it's not just I give you 1 hour and then give you my service. When you set up a time exchange, you get into a chat room, you talk about the problem, you get to know the need, and you know exactly what is going on and what you need to have in order to fulfill that exchange. So 10 times out of 10 when I've done an exchange for the time bank, it's been going pretty good because there's an already established understanding. You have a skill that I need, and I'm not giving you money, but I'm giving you time, of which that time can help you do whatever you want to do, right? So we can go over that slideshow. I'll even set up maybe once a week. I did it for like almost the whole week last week, which kind of killed me about time banking. But I can set up a week or a once a week thing about time banking because I want this project to get going. But yeah, time banking's great. People don't usually fight over time. That's not my experience with time banking, but I can see where that could be a problem. Arbitrage will occur within the time bank and time banking. But yeah, there's nothing is perfect. You're gonna iron kinks, and then kinks are to come out. It's just the way life is.
Quick suggestion for you, Jaden. maybe having like some sort of video presentation of the slideshow or something, or like the short little like recaps that you just did for us right here might also help you not have to, labor so much while you're doing that sort of retelling and re-educating people. And maybe then other members, once they, if they start to understand it, they might be able to facilitate like a Q&A session after the static presentation or something like that. That might be another way to kind of extend your energy a little further too.
Yeah,
But
I'll
I love
make a
all this.
video. Definitely make a video because last week was that personal. That's where I got most of the feedback, questions, development, or new things that I want to implement now in the time bank because of last week's conversations the whole damn week. I'll definitely make a video from the slideshow. That's definitely going to be a part of the educational screening process because time bank is not for everyone. We love to say 3.5 ain't 100 because it's not. 3.5 of the population is a very small population. We only need a very small amount of people intentional to organize to make the change that we want to see. If it required 100% of everyone to make change wouldn't happen. People are so different in the ways that people interact and think about the world and how to come about change. We only need us tiny percent to make that change. But yeah, we'll do videos, do a little more forums, more information about time banking. But yeah, the project is going along great. I did make a platform on the base time bank. I'm still setting that up, but very soon we will be announcing a way to get into the time bank. I'll set up best practices guides with the video so people best understand how to utilize the time bank in conjunction with the shipping service. So as soon as the individual gets into the time bank, they should know what to do and how to function with it. So people can start making that material change. This also addresses mutual aid concerns that we've had about the general strike. So this time banking project and program is here to address those mutual aid. How do we conduct mutual aid? How do we address the people's needs and stuff like that? Time banking in this project with the shipping service is to address that so that we have an apparatus, we have an explanation of how to address this. It's definitely a start, and we all have to start somewhere, right? If we start nowhere, it never gets started. So yeah, time banking is great. Boom, videos, all that. Love to hear it. Love to see it. Yeah, so you can DM or just DM's preferred. I don't really check or you could do the time bank there's a time bank project thread in the projects. You can type your question there or straight up DM me. DM's a lot better. I don't really check all of the Discord channels all the time. Family, and that's what time banking like an informal economy. It's favors, right? You can get paid for your time for braiding hair because time banking provides structure to our organization, to our community building. If you don't need time banking, right, that's just a structure. If you could just directly give to your community, that's way better. But time banking provides structure, provides a how for people because some people don't know how to give to the community, but they want to. So time banking that's what that's there for, to give people a how to give, right? Because people want to give, but some people may not know how, especially with people think that they don't have skills to contribute. Everyone has a skill to contribute, and time banking just gives you a how to do that. So then you can address that need and skill. Cool. Thanks for having you. Thanks for having us. If you need to leave. We're way past that hour mark for that welcome meeting. So if you need to go. Good night. Good night. Hand squeezed lemonade is the best. Grabbing lemons at the store, squeezing them yourself, then making lemonade out of it. Much better than first store-bought lemonade pre-made for you, and better than lemon juice that comes straight from the bottle. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the deal is with lemon juice from the bottle. That's just ass. I don't know why. It says 100% lemon juice, but when I squeeze it by hand, it tastes so much better. I don't know.
It's like fresh baked bread as opposed to the stuff you get at the grocery store.
Oh my god, fresh baked bread is amazing. I haven't made bread in a while, but there's like a night and day difference. There's like a bread and bread difference. There's like store bought bread, bread made in the oven right next to me, hands down, every single time. It just takes a while to make.
Yeah, I before the pandemic did a sourdough for about 8 months, but shit, that's like having a fucking pet that you have to take care of.
That's just this little pet sitting on the counter. You have to feed it every day.
And it gets goop everywhere no matter the best of your intentions.
So man, I don't believe the videos that do sourdough starters and it's not messy. I don't believe it. That's gotta be.
Yeah, I can't.
It's so messy, but it's so good though.
Yeah, I've thought about picking it up again, but I haven't like had the time or mental headspace. Um, but now I don't know. I in a weird transitional time with everything that's going on.
Yeah, everyone's disillusioned, disarrayed. And I don't think anyone knows for me. I don't know. I can't even imagine 2026. I can't even imagine the next couple months from now. I don't know what's going on.
I can't even like fathom that the last week has only been a week.
It's only been a week.
It's only been a week. I feel like I have just been running and running and running and getting so much stuff done in such a short period of time, and it's and I've been organizing now. I mean, I've been involved in different activism spaces since I was 14. I checked out during the pandemic because I am high risk and you know, life. But everything that's going on, I've kind of been like, okay, I have to do this. This isn't optional. This is part of life.
Yeah, burnout's hard to address. Because the way I address burnout is I don't take upon too much. Like I'm almost at my limit. I'm almost at that point, and I stop myself from taking upon any more responsibilities to alleviate that. So I'm not doing anything else besides the time banking. I've joined, like I said, another organization local to me. That's pretty much at my organizational limit. I have like a bajillion more projects I want to do for the general strike, especially with the resources that we have. But if I were to do anything else, I would get too distracted, sidetracked, burnt out, thinking about too much. So as much as I want to start more project, like the time banking thing, as cool as that, and I love to get that started and I want to get that done. I want to do so many more projects, which will kill me, which will really burn me out. So just knowing when to stop, right? Knowing when to stop taking more responsibility, because it starts off small. When people get into activism, I'm sure you know, it's like you want to do as much as you can. You want to do like everything. You want to get everywhere, meet people, do stuff, but then you can't do that forever, and you can't be consistent like that forever. So what I've done is take small projects, keep adding on to my daily routine until I'm comfortable, taking upon more. Because when you get into a rhythm and you get into a routine, things start becoming more, I guess, fluent to you. Things come to you naturally. It takes a lot less power. All power day. Have a good day. Have a good day.
No, I definitely feel that. That's kind of the goal of tomorrow for me is trying to figure out what the focus needs to be going forward. Meeting with a couple local orgs, seeing I've been networking just like fucking crazy, and people just keep reaching out to me, which is great. But I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I'm now at the point where I have too many options,
Yeah.
which is a great place to be in, I guess. But I want to figure out how I need to focus, or if I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out
Yeah.
in a very short period of time.
Yeah, and we're all trying to figure it out all at the same time, and the figuring out never stops, right? So when you realize the figuring out never stops, you learn your own pace, you learn your own pattern, like you learn through yourself what you're capable of, and if you're keen enough, you'll be able to understand that pattern. So there's a rhythm, that goes with it, right? Successful people, I won't say millionaires, but people who like can control that stress, or can control that, have be within the means of understanding their capabilities, it gets a lot easier. Burnout becomes a lot less frequent. You'll still burn out. Right? I'm not saying it's like the thing that'll just go away, but you'll have a better understanding of what you're capable of. And yeah, I think JD, like that's basically what life's about. It's just being able to understand yourself, what you're capable of, and then running with it. Because in the words of Karl Marx, philosophers have been thinking about changing the world. The point it is to actually change it, and doing that actual change takes time and understanding.
Hi, what's the topic right now?
Ending. We're almost done. We're just tailing off the time banking discussion from the welcome meeting. But yeah, we're like just hanging out.
Got it, cool. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about the wiki meeting, or the GSUS Wikipedia that we're working on. Do you want to keep this room for that, and I can pick a different one?
No, we're getting out of here. I'm getting out of here. I'm done. This is it. The welcome meeting's over.
Okay.
Take over the space.
Okay, well, take your time. I
Alright.
think I'm the only one here yet for that, so you keep going as long as you want.
Yeah, I can
Okay.
move to a different one for that. We can go to discussion for it.
No. I'm done. I gotta get out of here. I have like stuff to do. I have to like go do grocery stuff. Oh. So yeah. That ends it for the welcome meeting. Another meeting started. They're kicking us out. No. But yeah, thanks for everyone for being here. Love you all.